So the friend zone and how to avoid it. Now, I'm going to be communicating more to men, but some of this applies to women. So one thing that a man has to be comfortable with is his sexuality. In other words, if he's still not over his mother catching him masturbating, if he's closing down his energy, if he's holding back, then no woman out there is going to be sexually polarized by him. So more likely he might end up being like the nice guy, and also there'll never be any sexual polarity. So that's one thing. Secondly, in order to create sexual polarity and be out of the friend zone is that you have to get over rejection, because that means you're going to have to take risks. A lot of guys think, well, I'll just become her friend. But what men don't understand about women is that once he is the friend and he's in that kind of energetic vortex, it's really hard for her to see him differently. Secondly, she's probably shared so much about ex-boyfriends and other things that she doesn't want to lose that connection. See, what men don't realize is that, women, if they're attractive, they can have a lot of different male friends, and they can have men that they can confide in, and they're not afraid of like, oh my God, if I don't become your lover, I'm not going to be able to, find someone else. Whereas with most men, they get to this place of scarcity. Like if I say the wrong thing, I'm going to lose her, and yet that's how you lose her, and that's how you end up in a friend zone. You have to have some balls. You have to take the chances. Another thing is that you have to be comfortable with touch. If you are one of those guys who, like, when you hug someone, both men and women, you're like, oh, I don't want my penis to touch, or, oh my God, I don't really know this person, then you are uncomfortable with touch, okay? So therefore, when you are with a woman that you like, and you try to touch her, she might feel you as being creepy. She might feel like, what is that? And so the best way to become better at that is actually become more comfortable with yourself and comfortable with touch. And you start learning how to actually touch strangers. I'm not talking about going to Whole Foods while there's a man or woman looking at the oranges, and you put your hand on their hand and go, nice oranges. I'm talking about just people you start getting to know, and you might touch his hand, you might touch his back. You get comfortable with that, because how that's going to help you practice is that if you like a woman, you could be actually having, and I've done this, I've had a conversation with a woman for just 2 minutes. And it just feels right. I grab her hand, or her pinky, or something happens, or she even touches my hand. Well, that's creating sexual escalation. She's kind of let me know she's interested. So we kind of start doing it back and forth. If she's not attracted to me in that moment, it might be too soon, or she just might not be attracted to me. But I'd rather, if I'm really interested in her in that way, and I want to maybe date her, I don't want to sit there and just like wonder, and then, a month later, she's just thinking, you're such a great friend. I want to talk to you about this guy I just started dating last week. That would suck. So it's better to take risk. You better be comfortable with your sexuality. You better learn how to be comfortable with touch, and you better put yourself out there. Because if you don't, you're just going to always be the guy in the sideline and thinking, I wish that I had Jesse's girl. Hopefully you know that song. When I talk about stepping over the line, that might mean risking the friendship. Now, for them, it hasn't always worked out in the favor for guys, whereas he becomes close to a woman, then one day he just, shares with her, I've always been attracted to you, Susie. I mean, sometimes it's shocking. She's thinking, all those stories I told you, and you're looking at my breasts, or you had other motives. So you might be risking the friendship. But what would be more torturous? Being her friend, knowing this, and being deceptive to her, knowing that you really want to be with her, or just being completely honest? Because the reality is that she might say, I'm interested in you also. That took a lot of balls to come forth and tell me that. She might say, I just still want to be your friend, and therefore, it's clear. You can either continue the relationship or not. Or she might say, I think you're a really great guy. I have a friend who I want to set you up with because I already know who you are. I want you to meet so-and-so.